10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We danced in the rain under broken skies, laughed through the pain, hid behind our lies. I thought we were strong, thought we'd never break.
By the rotation of the Earth versus the sun, right? But how do you measure a 24-hour period in a time when hours don't exist yet, and there is no basis for the length of the day? There have been some good sort of writings on how you square the science with the verbiage of Genesis 1, Genesis 2. It's also true that there are two Genesis accounts, right? There's the Genesis account that talks about the creation of various things on various days, and then talks about the creation of man on day 6, and then the Bible goes back, and then it talks specifically about the creation of Adam and Eve on day 6. So why does it bother to tell the story twice?
No. I love to start that way, right? No. That's when you know I'm extremely against what has just been said. But I will tell you this, man, that listen, God is not talking about two different stories in the book of Genesis. And just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it's allegoric. And so the first book in the book of Genesis has a first chapter. And so what God does is God gives us the 30,000 foot kind of macro perspective into the first 6 days or 7 days of creation. It's almost like when you're writing a book, you have a table of context. And then within that table of context, within each chapter lies the specific literature that goes into the detail. And so the first chapter is like the table of contents. And then everything from that point on is the specific detail within that chapter. So you have a 30,000 foot macro vision in the table of context, and then you get down into the specific detail in the specific literature. Well, you ask yourself, why did God focus on the very last part of the 6th day, which is the creation of mankind? And the reason he does that is because mankind is the pinnacle of God's creation. God created everything for mankind. And so if you look in the first 6 days, you can see that mankind could not have existed in the first day. Mankind could not have existed in the second day. Mankind had to exist in the last part of the 6th day, so everything that preceded mankind was necessary for mankind in order to exist. And so as you can see that God created everything for mankind, not the other way around. He didn't create mankind for nature. Nature was created for mankind because mankind, as I said before, is the pinnacle of God's creation. And how do we know that? We know that because if you look into the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28, what does it say? And I'm going to paraphrase. It says that God created man in our image. He didn't create anything else in his image. In other words, we are his children. He didn't create the sun in his image. He didn't create the moon in his image. He didn't create the plant life in his image or the earth in his image. You know what he created in the image? He created mankind. And then the second part to that is he gave them dominion. You understand that? Dominion over the earth. And it's the only part of creation in which God did that. God gave no other part of creation dominion and made it in his likeness. No one. And all you have to do, like I said, is look in the book of Genesis, but you can also look in the book of Psalms. And I'll paraphrase, but I'll put it on the screen here. It's Psalms chapter 8, verse 6. And David is asking God, like, you created all this miraculous stuff, man. And God, like, what kind of God can create all this incredible stuff? But with all this other stuff that was created in the first 6 days, why do you visit with us so much, David says? Why do you care for us so much? Why are we the apple of your eye? And I'll get to that in a sec, but the reason is because it's through man in which he will bring his first begotten son. That's why. But think about this, is that God gave man dominion over the earth, right? And so God is a righteous God. God just doesn't do stuff. There is no sin in God. There is no missing the mark in God. And so because God gave us dominion over the earth, he can't just snap his fingers and just make everything go away. He has to do it in a righteous, in a just way, because that's who he is. That's what he is. That's why he's eternal. And so since he gave man dominion over the earth, the only way to save man that he gave dominion over the earth is to send a man. You understand that? So when you get into the second chapter of Genesis, what God is doing is God is showing you, or getting very specific as to mankind, because it's through mankind and not any other part of creation in which he's going to send Jesus Christ. That's the point. And so again, it's not two stories. The only way that God could save the life of a man is to give the life of a man. You understand? The only way you can reconcile death is with a life. And not just a life, but a perfect life. And so he sent his son through who? Through Adam, through Eve, through Noah, through Abraham, through the nation of Israel, and then through the nation of Israel came the son of David, Jesus Christ. He came the first time, and now he's going to come back the second time. And now he's going to remake the earth. He's going to save the nation of Israel. He's going to save the church. None of that could be done unless it came through mankind. So if you look at the first book of Genesis all the way to Revelation, what you're getting is a history lesson, people, on where the word came from, on where Jesus came from. The book of John says, chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God. And then in verse 14 it says, and the word was made flesh. And so when Jesus said, let there be light, he was saying words. You know who that word is? That's God, and that's Jesus. And so God is giving you a history lesson on Jesus Christ. That's what it is, people. And it starts with Adam and Eve. That's why he goes into Adam and Eve in the second chapter. And he continues that all the way to Revelation. It doesn't stop. And so you ask yourself, why does he do that? The reason he does that, you guys, is because Jesus is the star of the movie. That's why. The Word of God is Jesus. If the Word of God is Jesus, that means everything from Genesis to Revelation is about Jesus. That makes him the star of the movie. So yeah, it's not two different stories. It's one story, and it's not allegoric because you don't understand it. It's extremely literal.
Hey guys, hope you love the content. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and let's push this video all over the internet. Remember, our goal here at Holey Smokes is to save souls. Now listen, there's one more part to this 3-part series of Ben Shapiro versus God. Please check it out. The clips themselves are only like 10 to 15 minutes. I thank you for spending time with me today. I love you guys. I'll see you on the other side.